Hello and welcome back to the Happy Era podcast. I'm Dom. This is Beck. We're the co-founders of Beck's Broth, and we are excited to have you here today.
So today we're all going to be chatting about the startup costs that are involved with starting a business, and what's important, what's the best thing that you can be spending money on, what's the stupidest thing you can be spending money on, and like our trials along the way. But let's start this off by what's in our cups today. Dom, what's in your cup?
What's in my cup? Always coffee. It's the morning time. But what is figuratively in my cup is stress. Financial stress.
It's scary.
We are experiencing right now a time where we're having a tricky time getting more lending, and we knew this point would come in business. So I'm going to share a little bit about
Not a tricky time getting lending, but we don't want to take on more lending than what we already have.
Yeah.
So a bit of both.
Yeah, and both. Yeah, a bit of both.
Yeah.
So what's going on right now is we kind of set this point of how much debt we wanted to have, and we're there. We're there. We don't.
How much are we at?
We're at so we're at 500,000, and we know that was kind of like $500,000 is kind of what we're both comfortable with hitting. That's like a mortgage maybe, and that's kind of where we felt comfortable. But we know that we're going to be doing a raise to dilute the business and get some investors, and we're just not quite ready for it. So we need a little bit of bridge funding because we've been doing all of these growth activities. We're in hyper growth mode and we're profitable, so we feel confident taking on a bit more lending. So we got approved for a loan. Everything is going to plan. Now we realize that people want to be in first position on our PPSA search, which means if the business were for whatever reason to go out of business, all the different lenders want to be first. And because we're at such a high debt load, it's extra that they want to be first. So it's tricky to get lending. So just if anyone is interested in kind of making that transition to investing, we always knew this point was going to come. And our gut feeling was so right with that 500,000 because not only do we feel that way, but our lending partners also feel that way. So we will probably be doing a raise soon, which is really exciting because we'll be adding people to our team. Yeah.
And I think that's something that, we had our first real conversation about that yesterday with a consultant that we're going to work with to guide us through the raise. But it's going to be a really fun journey, but there are some things that we need to talk about. And it kind of goes back to when you first came on as a business partner in Beck's Broth, we had those sticky conversations, and that was pretty much 3 months worth of mentoring during those sticky conversations where it was like, okay, well, how many shares do you want, right? What's your salary going to be to start? That was a really, I don't want to say hard, but maybe challenging time for us to just navigate those conversations. And I feel like that's almost what we need to come back to now. It's been a year and a half since we've had to really sit down and say, come back home to the numbers and be like, well, what makes sense moving forward? What do you want? What do I want? Are we in alignment? So I think we're at a really interesting time where, we're getting excited. Yeah. But it's a little scary. And it's just I need to, so right now, a big priority for me is just understanding different raises and learning from case studies out there. And there are brilliant case studies out there. I just need to really tap in and do that research just so I can also be a good sounding board to you. Because you're the one that's really, I feel like, almost leading that, and I really need to step in, but I need to step in with at least some prior knowledge. So I think now is I have a little bit of homework there to really make sure I'm understanding the world of raising.
It's been a fun time learning. It's been
it sounds so badass talking about it.
Oh,
also, by the
thank
way.
you.
Yeah,
it's been so much fun because I think we had these early conversations where you and I talked all the time, and then we took all of that and gave all of our energy to our team. Yeah. But now we're coming back to each other.
Coming home, baby.
I'm coming home. And it's been cool.
It's been really nice.
And people are taking us seriously, and our friends in the industry who are ahead of us want to talk and they want to help us. And honestly, it just makes me feel so fucking cool getting to learn from them and build the business beyond that $1 million mark.
Yeah. And it's just so helpful to be able to call somebody up like you just did from Tony from Queen Street Bakery and just be like, Tony, we know that you have gotten investment before. Can we ask you these hard questions, right? Are you, if you don't want to tell us, sure, that's totally fine. But we need to understand if we're on the right track and being reasonable and just making sure that we're doing it the right way. And since we know other founders that have gotten investment, it's just so nice being able to learn from them because they really went through the trenches with it. And we're still going to have to go through the trenches too, but we're learning from people as well. And I just think we're really doing our due diligence there. So.
Yeah. And hopefully this podcast can be something for some of you, because they're being so good to us. And I hope that we can also just share our numbers openly and help you. We're in the middle of it right now, so you'll have to wait to see what's on the other side.
Yeah, we're in it. We're in the trenches.
Bex Broth 2.0 loading.
Did you really just say that, by the way? Dom has a hate out for 2.0, 3.0, 4.0, so that's crazy of you.
I hate that word.
Yeah, I know. I wish we could rewind. Love that.
What's in your cup today?
So I guess by the time that this podcast is going to be launched, our fall flavor will already be out there. Right?
Oh, facts. I think so. Yeah. Should we say it?
Yeah. So we officially have a pumpkin spice hot chocolate on the menu, guys.
Louder.
Pumpkin spice hot chocolate.
Did you bring me some?
Yeah. Well, my car, I literally went to production yesterday. My car's full of it. Nobody break in to my white Jetta right now.
No. If you see rust on a Jetta, don't touch it.
You don't want it.
You don't want it.
But yeah, so exciting because we have been working tirelessly on building the product. Like every time we launch a new flavor, there's so much that goes into it, and it starts months in advance.
Yeah.
So to finally be able to pick up the product, to have all the sell sheets and the conversations with the retailers and the pre-books and the emails getting ready and the content all being finalized, it is just so cool. It's such an incredible moment. So right now I'm just high on life that we are actually going to be launching a fall flavor, and we're expecting to just blow out of the water. Like we can't wait for this one. It's really, in my heart, I never thought pumpkin spice was going to be on our menu just because I'm not PSL girly. I'm not her. But after trying this one, it's fucking good. And I will have to say, like, at first I was like embarrassed to say like, oh, like we're launching a PSL to like some of my friends who are like, hey, basic. But now I'm kind of like, yo, you should try it though.
Yeah.
It's actually so good.
It's cozy. It's warming. It's not too strong. That's something that I really like about it.
Like, our hot chocolate's our hero. So we're just like really, we didn't do it with our coffee. So it's not a pumpkin spice coffee. It is a pumpkin spice hot chocolate. So it's just, that added level of spiciness.
And we really executed this launch so well compared to other ones. We're launching like the first week of September. We're going to be one of the first, and everything is ready. And today is like August 8th, and we have all the marketing material. You're starting to sell it. We're starting to post teasers, and it just feels so good to finally feel legit. I feel legit this time.
Yeah, well, I just feel like we've been able to learn. We've done, 2 launches now with Casey. With Macy and Kayla. Oh, that's their pet name. Aww. Kayla and Macy, Casey.
Yeah. 3.
3.
Yeah. Matcha.
So I feel like we've really been able to learn from past production runs and past launches on what we need to make it a success. So we've been able to, just take our past experiences and turn them into something beautiful and efficient. Like I feel like we're becoming so efficient, which is incredible because the more efficient you are, the more dollars you can save for one, and like the less headaches and stress and whatnot. So the calendar guides us right now.
Speaking of dollars.
Yeah, speaking of dollars.
So going back to the beginning of the business, let's rewind all the way to the beginning.
Rewind.
What are some of the key things that you spent money on that you think are worth it from the start, not just now?
Yeah, so when I started Bex Broth back in, was it 2021?
November 2021.
2021.
Yeah.
Okay. So when I first started, that the product looked different than what it is today. So it was a liquid product in a glass jar. I was making the product personally at a shared space, like a kitchen in Guelph. And then I was putting it in jars, putting it in the freezer, and selling it at the farmer's market. That was the business. So I would work throughout the week, make all this jar product just so intuitively. Like I didn't have any structure at all. I was still figuring it out. And then I was trying to sell it all on the weekends, and whatever I didn't sell would go in the freezer, and I would try and knock on retail doors. But it literally was just like me moving through each day, figuring it out. I did not have it together at all. And the things I would spend money on at this point, like it was just whatever I had in my personal bank account. There was no way in hell I was paying myself in the first year of business. I didn't have it. Like even my husband, Bart, looked at my numbers and was like, girlfriend, like you're literally losing money with every jar you sell.
$1.
Like you're like, it was a big cost. And I felt so, since I grew up with like a lot of like money trauma, I guess I was super nervous about launching a premium product because in my heart, I remember saying like, I don't want this to be above $5. And then thank God I just had somebody slap me in the face one day and be like, girl, it's a premium product. You need to get over that or else like you're not going to survive as a business. Like you need to look at what you're creating and who you're selling it to, and put that price tag on it that makes sense, or else none of this is going anywhere. So in the beginning, I was just so scrappy with like every dollar I had, which of course, like in the beginning, like my days looked like every time I made I was like testing my product every day. Like, and I was like, okay, like I'll wake up, I'll have a bone broth hot chocolate. And I was like, okay, put it in your mug. But since I didn't want to waste any product, I could only drink one per day. So I needed to, one, enjoy that. But also, how do I capture content of me, like putting it in my mug, or like having to take a picture of my mug filled with this hot chocolate? I wasn't spending any dollars on anything that was outside of like jars, my kitchen rental space, and my ingredients.
Yep.
Like money outside of that, it didn't exist.
No.
Like I don't even know what the first like frivolous thing I bought was. I think maybe like I bought a sweater and I got somebody to embroider it so I can gift it to my sister because she really wanted it. But there was like no professional photo shoots. There was no salary coming in. There was,
We used to do those photo shoots.
Dom and I, that's where we got like really close. We
Yeah.
actually rented a studio, like a photography studio, and we did not hire a photographer. We just made sure our iPhones were fully charged.
Yeah.
And I took pictures of Dom. Dom took pictures of me. Our self-timer took pictures of us together.
Brayden came, I think, one time.
So fucking cute.
Yeah.
But like in the beginning, like it was like, of course I had these visions of wanting to grow a brand and a business, but my mind was so small on just like survival. So if I was not spending money on the ingredients or anything, I wasn't spending money at all.
But you did spend money on branding.
Like when I rebranded Beck's Broth. When I first branded Beck's Broth, it wasn't like a crazy, like I did my website and the branding and that together, the website and the branding. Maybe that was $5,000, I think, for the first initial. So that was big.
Yeah, that is big.
That was probably like the biggest thing I ever did. And like at the time, that was like a freaking mortgage payment, or like a full mortgage, like not even a mortgage payment in my brain. I'm like, I cannot believe I'm spending $5,000 on my branding and my website. If you guys know what that costs now, like it's cheap. Like that's as
cheap,
scrappy as you're getting.
Yeah.
And then I realized, hey, like this product is catching on like wildfire. Like my community was showing up. They were at the farmer's market. Everyone was so excited and they wanted it and blah, 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 blah. Like it was growing. And I finally was like, okay, do we have product market fit? Like here we are. And like I felt so validated that people were coming back for more. They were excited for our growth. They loved the product. But then I kept hearing no from the retailers because the product was in a glass jar and it had to be sold in the freezer section because of its short lifespan. So then I was like, okay, like
Frozen hot chocolate.
a frozen hot chocolate. Great. Who the fuck is going to the freezer to buy a hot chocolate? You know, like that doesn't exist. The product would never move. So then I learned I needed to innovate the product further and make it shelf stable, light, and weight. Once that was there, I felt like I officially like had a business. I was like, this looks freaking good. But like rewind, like during that process, that's when I came to terms with knowing, okay, now I'm going to start spending more money. Like that was money. I think like the branding alone was like 15,000 like USD or something, like, which was like a lot, but it was so like I knew I needed to spend that money on branding. I just felt it in my heart. And again, leaning into like your intuition, like I feel like that's just something that I'm really good at. Like my intuition can fucking guide me. If I was lost in Alaska, I would probably die, but also it might
do something.
It might be able to bring me home. I always know when I'm facing north.
Do
my
you?
internal compass. Yeah, I'm pretty good at that.
Oh, where are you facing right now?
Well, I like to be outside.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no windows.
Like thinking of where I am, I would say north is that way.
This doesn't count. You're in your hometown.
Can we fact check me?
Yeah,
Do you
actually.
have a compass?
Yes, I do. That way.
Yeah.
Okay, let me pull up
To
my
my
compass.
right.
You're like bang on.
I fucking have an internal compass.
That is north.
Hell yeah, it is.
Yeah. Never eat sour watermelon.
Yeah.
Never eat salty.
Worms.
Ew.
Anyways, so I didn't start spending money until I rebranded. And then I was like, okay, I'll spend $3,000 on a professional photo shoot. Because there's no way I'm spending $15,000 on branding and packaging and then not having good photography.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I really wanted to be an e-commerce business. I wanted to be able to sell it online now that it was shelf stable and light and weight.
Okay,
So
but where'd you get $25,000 from? Because that's like a big amount of money.
that's when I cashed out my RSPs.
Okay.
So, which we kind of alluded to in some previous episodes. Like that's where I cashed out my RSPs and my life insurance.
Yeah. And
So
what else?
That I just maxed out everything I had.
But did you have like any grants or loans as well?
Oh yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just kind of talked over this. I think since you handle all the loans and stuff now and the grants, I'm like, they're out of my mind. But we really got a lot of help in the beginning from some grants. I think I got a $30,000 loan, which felt incredible. It's so funny that we have $500,000
Yeah.
in loans. But when I got that $30,000, there's that one picture of me online where I'm standing in front of 10C Shared Space, and the Harvest Impact gave me that loan, and they wrote me out a big check. And I just remember, oh my God, I'm gonna cry thinking about it. I was so excited, like when I like pulled up and I got to hold that check, and I just feel like people walking by the street were looking, and I was just like I did this just for my business. But really, like, use that money to be able to, like, do these types of things, like the photo shoots and whatnot. And still, even though I was spending, like, bigger girl money at this point, I still didn't really understand, like, what that meant. I just got my bookkeeper. Up until then, I was doing my books myself. And then I got my bookkeeper and my accountant. And I was really just throwing money and not really thinking about actual like projections or different types of financial models or anything like that. I was like, hey, I know we need to do this to survive. Throw it out there. Thank God that's when you came on board and we're like, girl, we could be doing this better. But I think, it took 2 years before I was able to frivolously throw money out there. And before that, it was grinding, being so scrappy with every dollar. And we're still scrappy, but it's easier to spend money now because we just know, hey, we got to do it.
Yeah.
It'll come back. We have the data to show us that we're staying on track with our budgets and stuff like that. So we're being responsible. In the beginning, there was no responsibility. Like, hold on to those pennies. And then finally, when we pivoted to the new product, I'm like, okay, photography, branding. And then I eventually got a paycheck.
That was a fun day too.
Yeah, that was great.
Is there anything that you think is not worth spending money on at the beginning, or something that you regret spending money on?
Yeah, and this is where I think a lot of people get super confused when starting a business because there's so many bright, shiny objects that you think you just need to do it all, right? There's email marketing, there's ads, there's hiring social media people to create content for you. We're 3.5 years into business, we just hired someone to do email marketing, you know? So like that was something we kind of did in-house before, but we didn't outsource to an agency or anything like that until this year until this time in business. But even like PR campaigns, when you work with somebody, I mean, they sound great and they're like selling it to you like it's the best thing since sliced bread was invented, right?
Yeah.
It's like you
want to do it so badly.
We're going to get you so much exposure. You're going to have so many clicks, and they're expensive. It can be upwards of like $5,000 to $10,000 for a PR campaign, right? And it's so hard to be able to spend that money, but then not see the ROI because it's so hard to track.
Yeah.
So say if you do a PR campaign, say this person takes your story or whatever you want that PR team to focus on, and they'll send it to all these different types of like news agents and outlets and yada, yada, yada. And people will pick up your story and repost it. So it's great for like SEO and whatnot. Sure. But at the end of the day, it's so hard to track like what came back. And sure, maybe you hit the gold fucking ticket lottery if it lands in clicks and shit happens.
You never know.
But it's really hard to justify that spend before you're still getting a paycheck or anything like that. Yeah. So PR is something that I feel like is a little bit scary for me to still say yes to, because right now we're doing big ticket items. Like we're a team of 8 now, so we're capable of a lot more internally, which is so crazy. But right now we are outsourcing. I think our biggest things that we're currently spending on money on business right now is our our email marketing. That's a huge one. And then now we just are bringing on some consultants to help with like sales and whatnot. Sales and like our exit strategy. And where would you say that the majority of our spend is going outside of production runs and whatnot? Like where do you think we spend money the most?
Our team and marketing.
Besides our team.
Okay.
Besides our team.
Marketing.
That's
our. I was looking at the numbers yesterday. We spend a decent amount on trade marketing and that like photography. We spend I would say a relatively high amount on photography. Mm-hmm. We're scrappy, but I think we know that that's what's going to make sales.
Yeah.
Obviously, we're going to spend money on things that are going to make us more money than we're spending money on.
It's easier to say yes to. I do feel like this year we've had a lot of photo shoots.
Oh my goodness.
Which is
it's been fun.
It's been so much fun. And it's really been helping bring the team together. Mm-hmm. So even though, yes, it's a photo shoot is a marketing cost, but it's also like a team building cost, right? Because we're able to spend the day together, having fun, like that camping photo shoot we did. We were able to spend the whole day with the girls, and that was just super fun. But I think I would say right now in business, if we're doing a photo shoot, probably I would say one every 2 months.
Yeah.
Would you say that, right? And that's because we have so many different product launches.
Yeah.
That each product launch needs a new photo shoot.
Yep.
So that's like unavoidable. But I would say they're probably $3,000, $3,500 each around there. And like that's like, and like think about like the props. And then of course I think that's a day, like a full day for me, a full day for Macy, like
full day of payroll,
a full day of
for
payroll.
Everyone.
And it's also like the prep too. Like that's also like our time as well. So it's just like that's a lot of money.
Yeah. But when you put into perspective that maybe it's $5,000 to do photography to launch a product, and then we actually look at the data of how much salted caramel we sold, and it was like almost the same amount as hot chocolate, and hot chocolate's our best seller. So if we think about the dollars we're doing in a month on a new product, it's really easy to justify.
Yeah. And I think it also comes down to making sure that we're using that stuff in the correct way.
Yes.
We have an arsenal of incredible photography. Like, oh my gosh, I love looking at it all. It's truly like a work of art to go into like our capsule and go through everything. But now we need to make sure that we're using it in a really strategic way that's going to like justify the photography, which I do think our team does like a great job at. Like just been like say like for example, story segments on Instagram. I know the girls have been playing around with Pinterest. That's something I really haven't been a part of, so I don't really know how that's performing just yet.
I noticed them up on Pinterest lately.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh my god, what the frog?
I know.
Cool.
It's cool.
Okay. But outside of that, we're just so scrappy. Like even our Amazon agency, like God bless that we were able to get that Amazon grant because we knew we wanted to go on Amazon. We knew we didn't want to manage that ourselves. Luckily, we were able to get a grant to get us kickstarted on Amazon, and then we were able to see that ROI, so it was easier for us to say, yep, you know what, I'm actually bringing on our Amazon partner because they've been great. But there's just so many things that we really look at with like a fine-tooth comb, just being like, are we ready to justify this cost? Like, do we have an ROI in place? Are we looking at, like, is this the next step for us as a collective whole as a business? Where I think we do a really good job when we have our Monday meetings to sit in and be like, what's a huge priority right now and what's going to cost the most?
Yeah.
Like, how are we juggling this appropriately? Like, what makes sense for our next tipping point? So this past month it was email marketing.
There's so much intention that goes behind every single dollar we spend. And I think from an outside perspective, we just look like we're spending money and having so much fun, which we are spending money and having so much fun. But every single investment has to go through me. No, but like actually.
No, it does. And everyone needs a Dom for that reason, or else I would just be spending money.
It's good. It's also good to have someone who wants to spend money, but it's hard. There's so many awesome things we could be doing, and it sucks. We have to say no all the time because we need to be profitable. We need to stay in business.
Yeah.
We're all working towards.
We have like a budget, and we need to make sure that we're sticking within that budget. And of course, you might not always stick within the budget, but at least you're doing your homework, realizing you're out of budget. And how do we rewind? How do we figure this out so we're not going over our budget all the time? Because as soon as you're going over your budget, that's when disaster is going to strike. Like even for example, for our like pumpkin spice launch, what we do, like we're still very scrappy when it comes to influencer marketing. For an e-com biz, we really do it scrappy in that regard, where we have like 15 creators, like when we do a limited edition launch, and we choose like 15 creators and we'll send them a PR kit. And those kits, we want to maybe stick them around like $30 per kit, tap it out at 15 people. And then so I just had a conversation the other day with Mare, and she's like, oh, well, I would love it if we could do like 60 kits. And then I was like, where's that money coming from though?
Yeah.
Like great for her. She's like, yeah, like I think you need more. And I was like, great, I know we need more.
Everyone needs more of everything.
But then we're going over our budget.
Yeah.
And that's when things start to get really scary and you don't really have a control on it anymore.
Yep.
So as much as 60 kits sound great, the ROI could be there, and I'm sure it could be, but we don't really have that data yet to be able to fully be like, yep, for sure, no brainer. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
We're still at this place where we are growing so quickly that we need to try and be as responsible as possible, and that's looking at the budget and making sure that we're sticking to it, which I mean I can do a better job at. That's why I just try not to spend money.
Me neither. I shout out Kayla. Kayla handles all of our transactions.
Yeah.
She actually told me we were spending a lot of money yesterday.
Since you kind of taken on the finance role here at Beck's Broth, when was the moment for you to know that like you needed to outsource to like figure out how to like educate yourself the best to our abilities to build that budget, build the projections? When was that moment for you?
Yeah, so I tried to do everything on my own. And the interesting thing is it worked. So every time I built a budget and I submitted it to get a loan, we would get the loan. And people would say, wow, you guys have the best spreadsheets I've ever seen, which I'm proud of. But there just came a point where I didn't feel like I was doing a good enough job.
You wanted to be validated.
I wanted to be validated. And everyone was validating me, which actually scared me because I didn't even trust my own numbers.
Right.
And they were like, wow, this is great. Right. And I'm like, dude, like I just pulled this out of my ass.
Yeah.
And I could skew this spreadsheet however you want it to look like to make you happy. But that's not honest. And if you're not honest, that's not good for the business.
Scary. No.
Yeah.
It's not in our best interest to be super optimistic either.
No.
Right? Like we need to make sure that we're doing this like responsibly.
Yeah.
We're not going to spin you a story to like get more money if it's not looking good.
No.
Yeah.
And I started taking all these courses, which were incredible, you know, an investment readiness course and a bookkeeping course. And then I would start talking to friends and they would really help too. But I just hit this point where I was like, there's so many opinions being yelled at me right now. And I don't know who's right. And I actually don't have time to like dissect all of these opinions anymore. And I was talking with Declan from Farm Credit Canada. He's our advisor there because we have a really awesome line of credit with them. And I just kind of vocalized this and he said, let me help you with a consulting project. I have a really good team of people who can sit down with you. We'll pay for 80% of it. You only have to pay for 20%.
I actually didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So cool.
Shout out Farm Credit Canada.
Yeah.
By the way. They're incredible.
So great. And if you have a lender, they're a really awesome resource where they have to sit down and help you if you ask them. And I think Declan likes to help us. But every third Friday of the month, I'm going today, we go in and we just talk about anything that's on my mind. So I'll literally walk in and like, he doesn't know what he's getting. Some days I'm like,
God bless him.
Here's our P&L. I just want to point out this one little spot. And then Cameron's with me. The first meeting was nice and super light. Second meeting for Cameron. Cameron's our growth specialist and she's really interested in finance. Second meeting, I walk in. I was like, Declan, we're running out of money. I don't know how to do this. And I don't know how to build a financial model. I actually don't know what a financial model is. And everyone who gives me one is different. And just literally go to therapy with Declan. And that's when we invested with IC Canada. So IC Canada is that consulting firm. And we just had a meeting and we said, this is what we need. I said, I don't know how to build a financial model. I don't know what a financial model is. I don't know when we're going to run out of money, which is scary. I don't know when we're going to have a hard time paying our debt. I don't know how to do a raise. I don't know what our business is worth. I don't know what we want to exit for. I don't know when we want to exit.
Yo, the list goes on and on and on.
So many things. And they just said, okay, we'll connect you with someone. And every week for an hour and a half, you're going to sit down and we're going to watch you work. So they sit down and they tell us what to do. They don't do it for us, but they let us build a spreadsheet in front of them. And then we send you the spreadsheet. And every week we have this new deliverable that's going to help move the needle for the team.
That's actually so incredible because like having to do it yourself and getting them to watch you do it. Because great, it's going to be great if they could just do it for you and then you pass it along. But I mean, like we're hungry for learning like that right now, right? So I do think that's really cool.
Yeah, because if they were to do it for us, then we would be going back to not understanding the numbers or knowing if they're true.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to make that more enjoyable to listen to, I guess, when do you need help is when your gut is telling you that you don't trust yourself anymore. And that's exactly where I was feeling. And you do have to spend money to make money. And that's something that both you and I are really good with is if one of us needs help, we're not going to say no to spending money. Whether it's hiring an assistant, whether it's getting a consultant or actually doing a project like this, it's scary to spend money on something that's probably not going to make you any money, but that is what sets us apart in the long term.
And I just think even coming back to that intuition where like this dream and vision is so strong for us and we will not accept that it's not going to work out.
No.
I mean, it's so fearful, I'm sure, for you to look at these numbers and be scared shitless. But again, we're coming home to, okay, well, are you going to stay in that state of like fear and anxiety, or are you going to feel empowered by learning how to do this shit? And I feel like you're taking this route and you're fucking doing it. And I just think that's so cool because anybody else, if it was me in your situation, when it comes to finances, that's not my strong suit. So I would probably live in that state of fear and anxiety. And I wouldn't have the energy to really like go after it like you've been able to go after it. So I just feel like that's also just such a blessing.
There's a lot of things you do that I wouldn't have the energy for.
Honestly, the yin and yang.
Yeah, blessing. But something on our culture, on our team that is really helpful is there's room for mistakes. If I came to you and I said, this is really bad, you'd say, okay, it's fine.
Yeah, like tell me where, like that. And that's something that we've kind of been having those temperature checks
Yeah.
lately where like even when we were co-working here the other day and you're like, it's not good right now, Beck.
Yeah. And it's like, it's okay.
Like that's fine. Like it's great. But it's so important to just know where we're at and be able to have that communication.
Yeah. And we're, I think, both pretty good with, hey, I need help right now. This is a big problem. It's like, okay, drop everything you're doing. Like, we can sit down and have a meeting. Just let me know and we'll talk.
Yeah.
And that is really helpful because we're not judging each other for not meeting our targets.
Gosh, we're figuring this out.
Yeah.
Like you helped me so much the other day where it actually almost made me feel, going off topic, like a little vulnerable when like we started talking about sales again. And just for reference, we didn't hit our sales targets last month. And that's okay. We're not always going to hit our sales targets every month.
No.
But the important part is that when you take a look back and you're looking at over the couple of months, we're getting there. We're still getting there, right? And then we're going to hit such a juicy month this month because we have our product launch. We're growing in retail. We're putting in the legwork. But so we didn't hit our goals, and we're trying to reevaluate our sales structure right now and what we're doing to be able to capture more sales from a retail point of view. So when we sat down the other day and you're like, just let me look at your spreadsheet, and you're like, I don't like this spreadsheet. And I was like, cool, I didn't know that we were doing this right now.
Yeah, like put me on the spot, you bitch.
Like, put me on the spot. And I was like, Dom, I'll sit down tomorrow like for like an hour or two and I'll edit it and then I'll send it. And you're like, no, I'm going to do it now. And I'm like, fuck, that made me feel so vulnerable and almost made me feel stupid. Like I wanted to like kick rocks and be like, well, fucking like, look at my shitty work and like make it better. But I feel like you did make it better. And I just had to sit through and like, I think that's what I needed was having that conversation out loud because it's so easy to get stuck in my head and look at my laundry list of things to do and put something on the side burner. Everything is due all at once.
Yeah.
So am I going to sit there and optimize a spreadsheet when I have like 71 emails I need to respond to?
The font don't matter that much, sweetie.
Right. But for you making that space and sitting beside me and putting in an hour of work there, it truly just like, it was like something was just like alleviated. It was like, okay, like we're back. We're back, baby.
Yeah, that's something that I'm trying to be more intentional with. I think there's been like, it's summer, it's busy, I've been traveling, we both have our own teams now, and it's like, hey, I'm here, you're here, let's connect once a week and then like keep going. But it's like, no, we're running this business together. I haven't been helping you. And there's certain things that I could do, like making a spreadsheet easier to read because I know how to make a spreadsheet easier to read. That might make you want to work on it more.
Yeah.
And like, why am I not helping you with that? So I think it's nice. We have a co-working space now that we can come work at. It's actually the same place we record this podcast.
Shout out Den 1880 Waterloo.
Yeah. And it's been just great to get to hang out together and work again. And yeah, like I said, I all my shit is so ugly. Like I'm coming and fixing your spreadsheets. You haven't seen how ugly mine are. It's not like I don't know what it feels like. Yeah.
In that moment, I felt like I want to be the one always making you proud.
I know.
You know?
Same.
So that's where that emotion comes from, where it was like, I just felt in that moment where I'm like, like you were making me proud, but I was like, oh, like I hate that she had to take the time to do that because it made me feel like I should have already done that, you know?
But that's not true.
I know.
And I think that's where the ego really gets in your way.
At least I was able to recognize it.
Oh,
I was able to literally like dissect that so I'm not holding that in, which I think is also important for me to say right now out loud, where it's like I was able to admit that I felt vulnerable there and that made me feel icky. And I'm now able to like tell you that's how I feel or felt. Totally over that. Like that's what I needed.
Yeah.
I just needed to sit back in that moment and recognize that's what I needed when I didn't know.
And I felt proud of you because I was like, you hate this so much right now. When I was
I'm
sitting
sure
there, I
you
was
could
like,
feel me.
She hates me. And I was like, nah, I'm just going to do it.
I was also so scatterbrained that day where I didn't even know what I was getting myself into. I think I was, and like that's where like my ADHD really kicks in. Dom's trying to have a conversation with me, and I have an email going off from like our team or something that like, I'm like,
LinkedIn.
I'm like, pause. I gotta go. Like I gotta do this. I was like, no, I'm having a fucking conversation with you face to face, and I kept on. I was so scatterbrained, and I still felt that way this morning. I'm trying to regulate myself, but that's how my brain works.
You're
sometimes.
a good multitasker.
God.
I'm not. We are opposites when it comes to that.
I'm not great. It's the ADHD that just like it has control over me so much.
No, you are not ADHD. ADHD is a part of you that we love.
If a business has $5,000 today, where do they start? I already have my answer in my head, but I'm going to let you go first.
Hot take, not branding. Do it yourself. Do your branding yourself. Do your website yourself. I would invest it in any materials you need, farmer's market table, and a mentor.
Yep. I think it's different for every industry. So let's talk about CPG, consumer packaged goods, which is the industry that we're in. I would also say boots on the ground. So really what you said, like branding and everything can come last, but you need that product market fit before you can really invest in that juicy branding. You're really good at graphic design, so that's great. I feel like you're able to make what you are.
Guess me up.
Of course. But yeah, I feel like that's a talent that you have. But I feel like when you need to get product market fit, and there's no better way to get that than creating your product of what you're envisioning and what you love and what you truly believe in, and boots on the ground, going to the farmer's market.
Boots on the ground.
Going to the retailers, like really like getting that feedback from your community and the experts out there is what's going to fuel your growth. And you're going to hear things along the way that you might not love, but that also might guide you into the right direction. So I think just if you're being scrappy, like use the money on the product, the production, making it yourself, like if you can, like that type of production, and then just going out there and getting after it.
Yeah.
Getting a tablecloth. Like I didn't have a branded tablecloth for 2 fucking years in business. Like at the farmer's market, we had nothing.
Yeah.
I had my pop-up table and a tablecloth that wasn't even on brand and 2 thermoses. And that was what I had for like a year and a half. But it helped guide us to where we needed to go. But we wouldn't have been here without those early years.
And just to validate that through the Food Venture program, the programs I host, and I see businesses starting up, and the ones who are successful are the ones who have that grit to go in person. And when they come to class, they ask the hard questions. They're the ones doing the homework. They're the ones, and it doesn't even matter. There was like this empanada company. I don't even know if they had a logo, and that it just doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter if you don't know if it tastes good, if people are even going to buy it. Why are you spending money on your logo?
And also, you learn a lot about yourself as a founder and CEO in that position. Because you're going, and can you sell that product, and how do you feel?
Yeah.
And then you really lean into your gut instincts in those moments, because it's not fucking easy talking to strangers about your dream and your goals. Like especially when you're just getting started out.
Oh,
it's scary.
so hard.
It's so scary.
Yeah.
So yeah, get those little feet on the ground.
Get those feet on the ground.
Get
Make us
after
proud.
Yeah.
Get a farmer's market table.
Yeah.
Do your thing.
And just get the fuck after it.
Yeah.
Like this is such a fun journey. If you literally are passionate about what you're doing, you build a team and you just fucking run with it.
Yep.
And everybody's journey looks so unique. It's literally what you build of it. I'm sure nobody else's journey just looks like this.
No.
We are in control of our destiny, and it's just been so much fun to grow the business the way that you and I personally just love to work.
Yeah.
And like move and operate and
And
stuff.
romanticize it.
Romanticize everything you do. I mean,
Yeah.
like you can have those days where it's like, fuck, this is so shitty, but you better believe Dom and I are going to romanticize us getting together today and like literally spending time together, which is why we're on a fucking podcast to begin with, right? Because we're romanticizing this quality time together.
Yeah. Everything's going to feel like a grind unless if you change your perspective and actually have gratitude for every single thing that you're doing.
Yeah.
The 6 a.m. wake up call.
A little, like I lived actually that truth yesterday. For example, I woke up and I had to walk my dog, right? And I remember, and I got right into and I wasn't going to walk her to the forest because like if I go into the forest, it's an hour walk versus a 30-minute walk. And I had a busy day yesterday. I didn't want to do the full hour in the morning. But then I got into the forest and I was like, why the fuck am I complaining? This is what I love to do.
Sometimes I wonder that too.
I was like, this is the highlight of my day.
Yeah.
Why did I not want to come here? And then I was walking in the forest, having that realization, being like, oh, la-di-da, I love this. And then it was like, then I have such a busy day at work. And then I'm like, wait, I love to fucking work. I'm like, why am I like putting this negative stamp on things sometimes? So it's so interesting, like the way you look at it. Like if you're looking at it with the positive spin, you're going to have the best fucking day ever, every single day.
Yeah.
Sure, shitty shit is going to come up, but it's how you like maintain your composure that is going to make the biggest difference in the world.
Yeah.
So let's end it at that then, buddy.
Slay. Yeah.
Love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to another podcast with Beck and Dom on the Happy Era.
Woo. Woo. Bye.